Okay, good morning, guys. It is 8:34 on Wednesday, the 7th of June, 2023, and as you can see, things are in the green at present, and I suppose I should really say we have been here a couple of times before, as you can see if you look at the trend. But only a couple of times before. If I scroll this back, you will see that first time we've hit this price point was way back in November 21, and that held roughly until about January 22. Which I assume, perhaps wrongly, was the start of the Ukraine conflict, or the lead up to it at least, because ever since that, whilst there have been market fluctuations, there's not really been anything that you could describe as actual growth. So yeah, as I say, back in November 21 was the first time that price point was reached. Again in April 22, roughly, very briefly, I might have had. Looked more like it in August 22. It was up around there for about a month, and now we see it again. But as I've mentioned before, what I would call the amplitude of these waves appears to be getting smaller with time, and that suggests to me that there's a little bit more certainty and confidence in the market. And I suppose what I would say is, if you look at the low points, we appear to have been kind of consistently having lower lows from about October last year, and yeah, so from going by this, from about March, the market has been increasing all the way through April, May, and now we're into June, and it may be premature, but it looks to me as though things are getting back on track, because what we are seeing is this smaller candle sizes, no big reactions, no massive uncertainty or anything like that. So that, to me, that looks good. Just looking at the portfolio figures, so as things stand, the portfolio value is about 7,600 odd. It is up a bit less than 5%, which equates to about 340 odd. The market is up on the day very slightly, but that's good. As I say, we don't want to see massive movement. That isn't a healthy sign. 2.5% for the week's quite a bit. 6% for the month is a lot as well, obviously. But as I've said before, these figures are rather academic whenever you look at the curve. What is perhaps more noteworthy is 5% for the year. That is below what would be kind of market average for the S&P 500. Market average is more like 10% plus. But nevertheless, it's kind of perhaps indicative of a bit of a shift in the right direction. Current price 65.56, and then average price for me on this portfolio 62.75. 61. Let's put in our weekly £120 worth of investment into the S&P 500. We're going to be buying about 1.83 shares going by this. That has gone through, and I'm just looking to see if figures have updated. So figures have updated, so yeah, new portfolio value roughly 7,000, a little bit less than 800. And you can see the return listed underneath there. Guys, let's have a quick look at the notifications. Novacure, there's one down 35% on mixed results of its lung cancer therapy. So whatever they were working on, it mustn't have gone to plan. That's a bit disappointing. But I suppose it just serves to demonstrate the fact that even massive organisations like pharmaceuticals, you know, they have no certainty really with their R&D, and when things don't go to plan, the share price will reflect that. This is one reason that I don't like to buy individual companies, because it's just too unpredictable. I think it was Jack Bogle that created Vanguard, who is famously quoted as having said, rather than look for a needle in the haystack, just buy the whole haystack. And that's kind of the principle behind exchange traded fund investing, which is what we're involved in here, obviously. So there is a little mention of Apple. I'm not even sure why they're mentioning that. It's 2%. Oh, maybe it's because it's reaching their all-time high ahead of the expected VR headset launch. Okay, so they're bringing out VR headsets. I've seen a little bit in headlines about that. Specifically, I remember seeing a couple of images of VR headsets. I honestly didn't read the articles. I have mixed feelings about those, from the point of view that yes, it's a relatively new technology. It's been around for a few years, quite frankly. I've experienced it once, I think, where I was at some sort of a demonstration, and the fire service had headsets that you could put on. It was supposed to be at the scene of a road traffic incident, and you could, I think you were inside the car, and you were able to kind of turn your head and, you know, look, in theory, look around inside the car. A bit of a strange example to give, perhaps, but that's the only experience I've had of VR. What I would say about it is, it's not maybe just as good as what you might imagine, or at least the one that I had tried, just to me wasn't as good as what you might imagine. It was it didn't really feel real, if that makes sense. You know, the image was a bit blurry, whatever way the things pieced together. I just didn't honestly would have been happier maybe just having a sort of a series of images you could click through. You would have seen a lot more detail. You would have been able to perhaps make more sense of what you were looking at, but who knows, maybe the Apple variety will be so much better. Applications really is a big question mark in my mind for VR. You know, where do you use that? I mean, yeah, okay, you can use it in training, which I think was the point with what the fire service had, but that's quite a limited niche. Now I can appreciate you might use it for, let's say, virtual viewing of properties or something like that prior to people wanting to put an offer in. But that is going to take, you know, time and effort to create, I would expect. So yeah, here time will tell, and there's not much point in me getting bogged down in it. I'm not particularly interested in it beyond the fact that I've seen a version of it in the past. So I suppose it'd be interesting to see what is said about it. And maybe the other thing to say is that a 2% increase in price is not massive. You know, it's not it's not saying that this is going to change the world or anything like that. So maybe there is really nothing to say about it. Guys, I think that is it for today. We've put our investment in. We've talked about the trend that you can see in the market there, and we've had a look at the notifications. If you're interested in following the journey, it's going to be roughly an 8-hour journey. Sorry, an 8-year journey. 8 hours is nowhere near long enough. Yeah, it's going to be an 8-year journey. We've already completed the first year, so this video is labelled Year 1 Week 9, and the videos are all linked in my playlist, which you'll see if you have a look at the channel page. So you can go back in history if you wish, and see where we came from to get to this point. Unfortunately, as things stand, you'll not be able to look to the future because this is today and we're live. But at some point in the future, you can certainly look back if you wish, and see how we got there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great end to your Wednesday, and I will be back next week with more investing. And with that, all that remains is for me to thank you. Yeah, if you enjoy the content, give me a like, hit the subscribe bell, and see you next time.